are attached to the bottom, so you can grab onto one if you get tired. And don't forget about the kayakers. One or two are sure to glide by every few minutes after they tire of nosing through the rocky outcroppings and tiny caverns that rim the cove. They can always help if things get dicey. But things wouldn't get dicey, she assured him, because his big sister would be right behind him, following him the entire way. And she had kept her word, dog paddling for a good part of the way so she could monitor her brother's progress. He took off from shore too quickly and veered off course within minutes, like a firefly trying to move through the hem of a taffeta curtain. Worse, his breaths came so quickly in those first minutes that it looked like he was keeping time to his kicks instead of his strokes. But a little more than halfway across the cove, he found his rhythm, got his bearings, made contact with that place that exists inside every person, where the fires of fear run out of fuel on the hard bedrock of our ambitions. How long had she been talking? Neither agent had interrupted her, and it didn't look like either one was about to. But embarrassment gripped her nonetheless, and in the respectful silence that followed, she tried to recall the cold carcass of ocean water around her bare legs, the gentle deafening of the ocean's surface lapping at her ears. How long ago? It took Megan a few minutes to realize it was the female agent who had spoken. Her last name was Lohman. 1992, Megan answered. Just saying the year out loud felt like some sort of irrevocable commitment. In attempting to share an innocent story about her love for her brother, she had steered the three of them toward a year in her life when everything had changed. A year that remained stenciled in her memory in bright red ink, like some sort of horror movie parody of those glittering numerals the ball in Times Square dips behind every New Year's Eve. The truth was, most people in Cathedral Beach changed that year. Maybe it had something to do with Bill Clinton's being elected president. The town's inhabitants became more contentious because they were scared, just like all the other rich white people in the country who suddenly felt less protected. And of course, there was Clinton's promise to allow gays to serve in the military, which lit up all of San Diego County like a bonfire. Seeing how her younger brother retreated into himself when the other students at school berated fag-loving Clinton was Megan's first indication that her little brother had feelings inside himself that were more terrifying to him than his nightmares of what might have been lurking below the surface of the cove prior to their first swim. Then the very face of the town began to change. The village was the term by which residents referred to the plateau of boutique-lined streets studded with Queen Anne palms that lay just south of the cove. And throughout Megan's childhood, the town council had managed to keep the chain stores out of it. But in '92, someone either got paid off or just got sick of shouting at soulless corporate types during planning meetings. Within a year, Judy's Books was replaced by a B. Dalton, and the card corner was replaced by a Hallmark. Then came a new waterfront condo development, which at 7 stories of glass and steel was regarded by most of the town's old-timers as an unacceptable, skyline-destroying high-rise. Then the first storm of controversy broke around the giant crucifix atop Mount Inverness. The base of the cross was lined with photos of dead veterans of the World Wars. But to a small group of homeowners who lived at the base of the hill and across a verdant gully, the cross was an unacceptable endorsement of a specific religion planted squarely on city property by a small but powerful community of the obscenely wealthy. 17 years later, there was still no real end in sight to the dispute. Indeed, every phone call home Megan had made to her mother during her 4 years at UC Berkeley had been marked by some unsolicited update on the cross controversy. Were they trying to get her to let her guard down? Was that their motive for allowing her to walk them?